Today was a very big day for Arsenal Football Club as we watched our manager, Mikel Arteta, get crowned as Manager of the Year. And this, of course, was due to his triumphant season in the Premier League as well as the Europa League. And this is exactly what we want to see as a team. We want to see the man who's leading us get crowned as the top manager, because that solidifies to us that we are in fact at the right club. And as Mikel Arteta collects his applause and collects his Manager of the Year trophy, I get notified that I've been selected to be in the Team of the Year, along some truly incredible football players, such as Mbappe, such as Bellingham, such as Big Bill Saliba. A real honor in Karo's career to be in the Team of the Year. And as we head into match week 19 of the Premier League, Brighton face off against Arsenal. And Karo, fresh off being selected in the Team of the Year, looking to impress. And here's Elliott finding Enciso. Enciso on the ball. Enciso still. This time getting tackled by Karo. And now Saka turning with the ball. Bukayo Saka able to find Karo with a tremendous pass. And now Denis Karo bombing it down the right flank. Looking at his options. Denis Karo taking a touch, having a shot. But Mantella with the save. Zaire Emery doing great to get the ball to Rabiot, who finds Karo. And Saka on the ball now with a great pass to Karo, who's unable to get past Schär. And now Brighton trying to work the ball, but Rabiot with the interception. And Saka finding Denis Karo. Denis Karo taking a few touches inside the box now, having a shot, putting it into the back of the net with ease. And a big golf swing. And Denis Karo putting Arsenal up 1-0 in the 71st minute. And Brighton looking to attack now. Elliott on the ball with just a few minutes left in the match. And here's Brighton on the attack once again. Joao Felix passing it to Kimmich. And Elliott now finding Kimmich. And Elliott with the cross into Boniface, who has a shot but is unable to put it into the back of the net. And Arsenal will run away with the 1-0 victory and the all-important 3 points. And with that victory, Arsenal remain at the top of the Premier League table with a total of 44 points and a record of 13 wins, 5 draws, and 1 loss. And a nice 6-point gap between us and our title rivals Manchester United. And as we head into match week 20 of the Premier League, Arsenal hosts West Ham. And of course, this is on New Year's Day, starting off 2028. Can Arsenal start it off with a victory? West Ham is a team that always gives Arsenal trouble, especially since Carlos joined Arsenal. And Van de Ven finding Nuno. And Rabiot now passing it to Denis Karo. Denis Karo able to find Saka. Saka lobbing it over to Denis Karo. And Denis Karo bringing the ball back, passing it to Watkins. Watkins with the shot. Barco on the ball. Barco passing it over to Earthy. And Saliba with the clearance. Saka finding Rabiot. Rabiot able to find Watkins. Watkins finding Saka. And Karo's making a run. And look at that brilliant run by Karo. Able to find Arnau. Arnau passing it back to Karo. Karo with a fake cross. Passing it to Watkins, who has a shot just wide. Barco finding Nusa. Nusa on the ball. Nusa still on the ball. Unable to get past Arnau. Denis Karo finding Saka. Bukayo Saka turning with the ball. Passing it down to Karo, who runs down the touchline. Denis Karo playing with the defender at this point. Showing him some razzle-dazzle with the skill moves. Passing it back to Saka. Saka finding Karo. Karo heading towards goal. Passing it to Watkins, who has a shot. But Leno, the former Arsenal keeper, with a great save. And here's DePaul with the cross. And Van de Ven doing great to clear it out. And Karo collecting the ball, but getting out-jumped. Nusa passing it to Souček. And Roger with the interception, finding Karo. Karo sending Ollie Watkins through on goal. Ollie Watkins, surely he's going to score this. Has a shot and unable to score. How? Kudos passing it to DePaul. Roger Fernandez with another great interception. This time it's Denis Karo on the ball. Denis Karo taking the ball down the touchline, challenging the defenders. Which one of them want to smoke? None of them want to smoke. Karo finding Saka. And Saka just stopping his run. Karo now collecting the ball. Cutting in, looping the ball up, passing it to Watkins. Watkins to Zaire Emery. Karo with the turn, with the shot, and into the back of the net. It goes. 15 minutes left in the match, and Denis Karo has just stolen the victory for Arsenal. And Mitoma finding DePaul. Gyökeres turning with the ball, unable to get it past Arnau. Gyökeres finding the ball once again. Gyökeres passing the ball to Mitoma. Mitoma with the shot, and Mitoma with the dagger. And Mitoma busting the balls of all Gooners alike. In the very last moments of the match, West Ham celebrating like they've just won the World Cup. And why not? They've just nabbed a goal against Denis Karo's Arsenal. And here's Karo looking to shut up the Hammers. And Kudos passing the ball to Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres on the ball. Gyökeres, what's he got in store for us? Passing it to Kudos, who has a shot and puts it into the back of the net. And Arsenal, after flying high in the 76th minute, have just been brought down to earth and sent down to hell by West Ham, as they have just nabbed the victory in the last moments of the match, which allow for Manchester United to pick up the 3 points while we drop our points and put down the gap to 3 points. We're still in first place with a total of 44 points, but now Manchester United is gaining ground. And we've got to brush aside the Premier League for a moment as we focus on the FA Cup, where we host Hull City. And Hull City, of course, the team Arsenal beat in the FA Cup final back in 2014 when they ended their trophy drought. And Vargas on the ball, unable to get it past Saka, who applies some pressure. And now Denis Karo on the ball, assessing his options, hitting an elastico there, sending it through to Semi, who has a shot. And Karo calling for the ball. Saka finding Karo. Karo with some scissors. Karo with a shot. Denis Karo on the ball once again. Denis Karo having another shot, and it's going to go out for another corner. And Karo just getting ready to cross it in. A beautiful swing by Karo. And Rabiot hitting it off the bar. And Denis Karo on the ball now, passing it to Watkins, who has a shot. But Rachopi is there with the save. And Vargas passing it right to Saka, who finds Karo. Zaire Emery, beautiful pass to Saka. Bukayo Saka on the ball. Bukayo Saka still on the ball, finding Denis Karo, who finds Ollie Watkins. Watkins sending Karo through. Denis Karo heading towards goal, having a shot. But Rachopi with another save. And Drameh on the ball, unable to find Bellumi. And here's Zaire Emery, unable to find Karo. But Rabiot is able to find Karo. And Denis Karo now on the ball, passing it right to Semi. And Semi cutting back, passing it to Karo. Karo sending Ollie Watkins through. Ollie Watkins with the shot, and Ollie Watkins with the important FA Cup goal to put the Gunners up 1-0 just before the first half comes to an end. A beautiful goal by Arsenal. And Arsenal up 1-0 now in the FA Cup. And Saka on the other end of that beautiful cross. Saka sending it through to Karo. Denis Karo cutting back. Denis Karo on the ball, still left-footed shot. Unable to get past Pereira. And Giles finding Vargas. And now Nuno working with Rabiot, who sends Karo bombing down the field. And Karo, will he be able to keep it in? Denis Karo able to keep it in. And Karo with a cross. And Racciopi with a save. And this match has come to an end. Arsenal pick up a very important 1-0 victory to move on to the next round of the FA Cup. And as we shift our focus to match week 21 of the Premier League, Arsenal face off against Newcastle United, and we head to the Toon. Geordies everywhere. It's January, it's cold as hell, yet Geordies are here in the stands with their shirts off. Karo has no idea what to make of it, and Rabiot finding Karo. Saka on the ball. Bukayo Saka sending it through to Denis Karo. Denis Karo taking a few touches, having a shot and smashing it into the back of the net in the lower corner. And he goes into the crowd, and they're starting to beat the shit out of Karo. And he immediately got out of dodge. Never again will I do that. I forgot where I was for a moment. The euphoria from the goal hit, and it was all over. And here's Joelinton on the ball, getting stopped by Karo. And here's Watkins sending it through to Denis Karo. Denis Karo able to get past his defender. Denis Karo having a shot, trying to chip like an absolute prick. And Ramiro is there with the save. And here's Karo having a shot off the volley. And another shot for Karo, but he's just missed a sitter. Team of the season, my ass. Anthony Gordon with the cross. Rabiot with the clearance. Karo with the turn. Denis Karo able to beat his man. Denis Karo through, on, goal. Denis Karo with a big touch. Now one-on-one with the keeper, has a shot and puts it into the back of the net. And I was going to try to chip it, but I did not want to look like a prick twice in one match. And I spoke too soon because look at this celebration. Denis Karo in absolute prick mode. And here's Fabian passing it to Isak, who gets the ball ripped off him by Karo. And as the second half begins, Isak passing it to Joelinton. And Raum finding Joelinton. Granit Xhaka, the former Arsenal man. Anthony Gordon lobbing it over to Isak. But Saliba's there to pass it to Zaire Emery, who finds Karo. And now Arsenal looking to attack. Bukayo Saka working with Zaire Emery. Zaire Emery on the ball. Passing it to Denis Karo. Denis Karo now finding Watkins. Watkins finding Semi. Semi sending it through to Watkins. Semi with the shot and Semi with the goal to put Arsenal up 3-0. And Arsenal now flying high in Tyneside. 3-0 to the Gunners. And we've still got plenty of time left in this match. And Kaveci finding Anthony Gordon. And Anthony Gordon now looking to swing in the cross. But Bukayo Saka's there. Joelinton collecting Saka's pass. Karo trying to lob it over Joelinton. And now Isak turning with the ball, having a shot and smashing it into the net. Holy shit, what a goal. And I swear every time we play Newcastle, or every time I play against Isak, this man is always scoring bangers. And Zaire Emery finding Rabiot. Karo now with some skill moves on nobody. Here's Joelinton passing it to Fabian. Fabian finding Anthony Gordon. Anthony Gordon doing great to get past Arnau. And Anthony Gordon with the cross and Isak with the header. And surely Newcastle are not going to complete a 3-goal comeback. Good thing Isak is too busy celebrating as time is running out for Newcastle. And now we just got to hold our lead because this would be utter embarrassment for us. And unfortunately for Arsenal Football Club, Newcastle United did not have any more goals left in them. And Arsenal come away from Tyneside with 3 points, which keeps us at the top of the Premier League table on a total of 47 points and a record of 14 wins, 5 draws, and 2 losses. And we have a 3-point cushion over our title rivals, Manchester United. But we cannot focus too much on Manchester United as we've got to face off against Man City, their noisy neighbors. And here's Watkins getting us kicked off here. Zaire Emery finding Rabiot. Karo with a turn. Denis Karo on the ball still. Denis Karo. Dribbling the ball and passing it to Zaire Emery. Nuno on the ball finding Semi. And Semi unable to get it past Militao, who finds Tchouameni. Arnau with a great header to Karo. Denis Karo on the ball. Denis Karo still on the ball. Looking to score against Man City. And Karo with a left-footed shot. Zaire Emery on the ball now. Zaire Emery still. Nuno finding Karo. Karo trying to find the back of the net, but unable to get past Costa. Costa passing it to Wilson Esbrand. Wilson Esbrand finding Ta. And Ta finding Echevry. And Echevry able to find Heung-min Son. Heung-min Son on the ball. Passing it right to Nuno Tavares. Zaire Emery able to find Semi. Semi sending Karo through. Karo with a touch. Getting brought down. How is that not a pen? Brilliant defending by Man City. Here's Watkins finding Karo. Denis Karo passing it to Saka, who's unable to find Karo again. Tchouameni finding Echevry. Philip Walter Foden sending it through to Heung-min Son, who puts it into the back of the net and has just put the dagger in the hearts of Arsenal fans. Man City taking a lead with them going into the second half. And here's Karo on the ball with a brilliant pass to Semi. And Semi on the ball, unable to get past Kabore. Tchouameni crossing it over. Jaden sending it back to Tchouameni. Tchouameni to Echevry. Jaden unable to get past Arnau. Karo collecting the ball from his boy Bukayo Saka. And Saka sending it to Karo. Karo making a Man City defender look like a clown. And Denis Karo getting past the defense with absolute finesse. And putting it into the back of the net with a beautiful, cool, calm, collected shot. And Man City now have to answer to Arsenal's goal. And here's Karo. Bend it like Denis. Oh! A decent shot by Karo. Here's Denis Karo challenging Kevin De Bruyne, who does not want to smoke and lets Karo get right past him. And here's Karo getting brought down one more time by Rodri. And how is that not a red card? This absolute bozo Rodri with a reckless challenge on Karo, only getting a yellow. And here's Karo once again. Bend it like Karo. Holy shit! We are never seeing that ball again. And Philip Walter Foden taking it down the touchline, passing it to Van de Ven. Kevin De Bruyne finding Tchouameni. Tchouameni finding Philip Walter Foden. PWF through on goal, having a shot, not scoring, not surprised. And the match has come to an end. Arsenal 1, Man City 1. Arsenal collect 1 point, which keeps them at the top of the Premier League table by only 1 point, in a total of 48 points and a record of 14 wins, 6 draws, and 2 losses. And because we dropped points, Manchester United only sit 1 point behind us on the Premier League table. And heading into match week 7 of the league phase in the Champions League, Karo faces a trip to his old team, Athletic Bilbao. And Bilbao, of course, a very special club to Karo. A club in which Karo played for 1 season and then abruptly left. And here's Somerville getting past Karo, finding Teze. And Sunset on the ball now, finding Nico Williams, Karo's old friend. And Nico Williams having a shot, but Ederson's there with the save. Teze passing it to Somerville. Somerville back to Teze. Nico Williams having a shot. Wide it goes. Teze sending Højlund through. Rasmus Højlund on the ball. Rasmus Højlund cutting in, finding Sunset. And Ederson with another great save. And this match has been all Athletic Bilbao so far. And here's Denis Karo, not having the best night on his return to Spain. But Karo sending it through to Bukayo Saka. Saka unable to find Karo. And as the second half begins, Hoyland passing it to Sunset. De Galarreta finding Nico Williams. Nico Williams looking to head towards goal. Saliba's there with the stop. Denis Karo finding Saka. Saka finding Semi. Semi sending it through to Denis Karo. Denis Karo taking the ball, heading towards goal. Denis Karo with the shot and smashing it into the back of the net against his old team. And he's going to have a dance with his new team. Utter disrespect from Karo, but I've got to be honest. The Athletic Bilbao fans have not been the nicest to me on my socials since I left. And although they may be in the right considering I left after one season, they talked shit to Karo, and now they had to pay the price. And Nico Williams heading towards goal. Nico Williams with the cross. Ederson's there with the save. Or should I say the catch? Karo settling it with his chest. Turning with the ball. Denis Karo on the ball still. With some skill moves on his old team. Sending it through to Saka. Bukayo Saka taking the ball down the touchline, finding Karo. Here's Denis Karo with an elastico and a left-footed shot. A terrible shot. Somerville finding De Galarreta. De Galarreta finding Somerville again. Somerville sending it through to Rasmus Hoyland, who has a shot but is unable to put it past Ederson. And with just 5 minutes left, Arsenal may be getting away with the victory here. And here's Nico Williams crossing it in, but Van de Ven's there with the stop. And Nico Williams passing it to De Galarreta, who has a shot, but Ederson's there with the save. And Sunset finding De Galarreta. De Galarreta turning with the ball, passing it to Sunset. And this match has come to an end. Arsenal pick up the victory. Karo embarrasses his old team and celebrates on their head tops. And Arsenal collect the 3 points, which puts us at 5th place in the Champions League phase. And we are just 1 match away from avoiding qualification for the playoffs and heading straight into the round of 16. And taking a look at our Premier League campaign, we sit at the top of the Premier League table after 22 matches played with a total of 48 points and a record of 14 wins, 6 draws, and 2 losses. But the pressure is starting to build up as Manchester United are creeping up on us, breathing down our necks, only 1 point behind. And just taking a look at what to expect in the next episode as we finish off this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. This has been Dennis from Climbing Wall Gaming. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Make sure to have yourself a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.